Hello fashionistas, I'm Sofi. Welcome back. I'm doing a 6-core skirt for you today. So the 6-core skirt means the skirt is going to have 6 panels, 3 at the front and 3 at the back. Because of that, we usually cannot put the zipper at the center back because there's no seam in there. There's a full panel, just like this. So the zipper is going to go on the left side. But the whole concept of this skirt is we're going to divide the skirt into 6 pieces. The center back, side front, center front. As you can see, the darts are pushed into those style lines. Okay, and some of them are eliminated and some of them are combined with each other. So let's do that. Right now I am copying my skirt foundation front. In case you don't have a skirt foundation, you can refer to my basic skirt foundation video, because for developing any skirt, we need the skirt foundation. Okay, after I copy it, don't forget your dart point and draw off the dart so we can see where they are. Same would be at the back. Okay, the cut line between my center back and side back would be this line that is catching the point of the dart and going down all the way to the hem. And for the front, my style line is going to follow the tip of my first dart that is closest to the center front. Now, we need to eliminate the darts. As we said, we need to push them into the style line. For that purpose, we're going to take this second dart, which is 1/2 inch wide, and we're going to take 1/4 inch from this dart, give it to one side of the dart and another 1/4 inch on the other side. My dart looks a little bit bigger. If that was the case, I would be doing a little bit bigger 1/4 inch on each side of my dart, and then connect those new marks to my dart point. As you can see, my dart is now doubly big, so that means this dart is gone. At the back though, it is going to be a little bit different. We're not allowed to combine these 2 darts to each other, because then my dart is going to be too big, too wide, and when we stitch the style lines, here at this point, we're going to get big bubble. In order for us to avoid that from happening, we're going to take 1/4 inch from this dart and move it on one side of my first dart, and another 1/4 inch goes to the other side. By doing this, now my dart became 1.5 inch, because this was initially 1 inch. After I added 1/4 on each side, it became 1.5 inch. Don't go bigger than 1.5 inch, okay? So, but then you can say, what is going to happen with the remaining 1/2 inch that is still here? I am going to give 1/4 inch from that dart to my side seam, and I'm going to shave it off. This is another way of eliminating darts, okay? So that's one side, and I'm going to mark 1/4 inch on the other side of my side seam, and I'm going to shave off from the other side. So this is going to be cut off, okay? By doing that, I already dealt with my darts without compromising anything, without losing, without gaining anything. After I do that, then I'm ready to cut the skirt. Now we're going to cut our darts out first of all, and then separate the center front skirt from the side front skirt. Actually, let's label them. This is my center front and this is my side front. Respectively, this will be my side back and my center back. Okay, place your center back at the edge of the paper. Actually, the paper can be any paper, dotted paper, manila paper. I'm placing this on a brown paper to be able to show the flares so you can see it clearly. The reason I placed it at the very edge of the paper because here I don't have a seam allowance. My center front is unfold. Then you're going to put your straight ruler at the very edge of the paper and you're going to drop the straight line and can continue this line all the way to the end so you can one by one place all the pieces that you have. Now I'm going to take my side front and about 6 inches away I am going to place my second piece, my side front. Make sure that when you put it on the straight line, make sure that it's sitting on the straight line and it's not tilted. You will be doing, cut the side back, place it next to it 6 inches away, and then the center back another 6 inches away. Just the same way I did with my 2 front pieces, okay? Now, I need to add flares to my hem. Let's say I want to add 2-inch flare to this piece. Then I measure 2 inches and mark 2 inches and 2 inches. And then when my other pieces are done, again 2 inches, exactly the same way. Then you're going to be placing your ruler to the utmost point of the hip, lean on the hip like that, and then catch the 2-inch point like this and drop your flare line. Do the same thing here at the side front like this. Oops. Okay, so I would go right there to my 2-inch line, and then here you see these diagonal lines that you place to the utmost point of the hips are not going to be exactly the same from one piece to another piece. It depends from the curve where this line is going to hit. So if you don't get the same results, don't be confused. Okay, and then I will be continuing that for the side back and the center back. Now, one thing that I have to do is I have to curve up the hem, because if I don't, if I just leave it like this at the seam allowances and sew this skirt together, my princess lines and side seams will be sticking out, pointing out. In order for me to prevent that from happening, I need to curve the hemline, meaning cut some of the diagonal line, which is obviously longer than my original height of the skirt. I have to cut some of it from the diagonal line and bring it to 0 to the hem. Then how do I know how much to cut? Here's what I do. I'm going to put the tip of my tape at the point where my lines came together, hold it in the place. First measure your original height. Let's say right now my line is measuring 13 3/4. Measure your own line, okay? And then we swing this measurement on the diagonal line. Usually 2-inch flare should give us a little bit bigger than 1/8 of an inch measurement. Once we find this measurement, we don't have to measure each and every side of the skirt pieces. So then I'm going to be cutting this much from here, same measurement from there, same measurement from here, and until the end. So I place my ruler in this direction when I'm catching that mark, which is generous 1/8 of an inch, and blend it to 0 at the hemline, which means my hemline is going to be curvy like this, actually, which is going to make my the whole entire hemline moving and kind of draping nicely. And now my ruler should go the opposite direction like this, and I draft up and curve the curve, and then I do that for all the pieces. Once I'm done, pretty much the skirt is finished. I have to add my seam allowances. The waistline seam allowance is 1/2 inch. Between the pieces, again, it's 1/2 inch everywhere. The hem allowances can be 5/8 of an inch. And as you can see, I'm measuring for my red line. You don't have to use red pencil to draft your curves. I just did it so it's more visible for you through the screen. That red line is my final line, hemline. That's why I'm measuring my hem fold from there. And you're going to continue and add your hem allowances just the same way. Now let's separate the pieces from each other. In this corner, I don't have enough paper. I'm going to add little points. Same thing is happening here. I'm going to make sure to add little pieces over there. After you cut all the pieces, please fold your hemline on that red line and eliminate this little piece from here for hem shaping. So when all the pieces are connected to each other and you fold your hem allowance to sew your hem line, this little piece is going to be extra over there, so you get little shaped edge in here. I'm going to mark my green line for the center front about an inch away from the edge. The same type of green line is going to be drafted for the center back. Since we have folded line, centered line, straight line there, but for my side pieces, the green lines would go right at the middle. So our fabric cut will act the same way, hang the same way, perform the same way. Now let's label them. So center front 6-core skirt, size 8 and cut 1. Side front 6-core skirt, size 8 and cut 2. Side back 6-core skirt, size 8, cut 2, and finally center back 6-core skirt, size 8 and cut 1. So altogether I have 6 pieces. Now let's notch these pieces. So pretty much I came up with very similar shapes, and I have to give some directions how to sew this garment. and also in which sequence these pieces go with each other. So first of all, notch this up and down notches, okay, 1/2 inch, and up and down notch right here, and then up and down notch at the side seam, and one hemline going through the whole entire hemline. Here at the side seam again, like that, and only at the side seam you give a notch for the hem fold. Do the same thing for the center back piece, like that. Okay, at the center back, we're going to put 1/4 inch notch away from the center, so we open, we get double notch there, symbolizing the back. But at the front, I should not forget to put my single notch right at the center front. Now again, I am using markers so you can see it better, but you have to cut the notches, okay? So now, also, as I mentioned just a minute ago, that these pieces should be looking the same. You see, if I place my pieces like this, you should be able to, if there was a fold and I opened the folded part of these pieces, you would see that they're all resemble each other. So in order for us to see how they are connected with each other and in which sequence, if this is my center front, I could go somewhere here, let's say on this line, somewhere, anywhere, and give a single notch right there. Here at the side seam, I'm going to have the zipper notch, which is going to be about 7 inches down here. So I will mark my zipper mark, and then here between these two pieces, anywhere I want to, I could put 3 notches like that, 1/2 inch away from each other. So let's say these are like mixed up, I can put my pieces together correctly and very quickly. It makes our life much easier in the production process. So people don't stitch these pieces in wrong sequence, because that could happen if the notches are not correct. So let me notch everything so I can put them back together for you to see. Here, so this is my center back, and 3 notches will go with these 3 notches. These 2 notches will go together, and the single notch that I forgot to notch in here will be, you see how like puzzles these pieces will go together and be connected correctly. I decided to put my patterns on the form so you can clearly see what does it mean, 1 piece, 2 pieces, 2 pieces, and 1 piece. At the center front, actually it says fold, so there's half of the piece in here because we're going to place this pattern on a folded fabric, then cut. So we get pretty much this big of a fabric, almost this size. Okay, and then there's one here. Since I'm cutting only half of the garment, if there's one here, there should be one here also. 1 and 2. The same thing will happen at the center back, because if there's a piece here, there should be another piece here. And finally, my center back piece is cut on fold, so there is another half here. There's no seam allowance, it's put on fold again. Obviously, you are going to need a waistband for this skirt. For the waistband instruction, please refer to my A-line skirt video, where I am demonstrating how to draft the waistband for any skirt. So this will conclude my demonstration of the 6-core skirt for you. If you like my demonstration, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe for my other videos, and also you can share it with people who are interested in fashion. I'm Sofi Kaçmanyan. Thank you for watching.